Imagine increasing productivity by up to 60% without investing in new technology or hiring more staff. How, you ask? Welcome to the world of Kaizen, a philosophy that emphasizes continuous improvement in all aspects of life, especially work. It's an approach that has proven to transform operations and boost efficiency dramatically. Originating from post-World War II Japan, Kaizen is a term that combines two Japanese words, Kai, meaning change, and Zen, which means good. Together they encapsulate the idea of change for the better. In a time when Japan was rebuilding its economy, this philosophy became the driving force behind their impressive growth. Kaizen is not just a productivity tool, but a mindset, a way of life. It encourages small, incremental changes over time that lead to substantial improvements. It's about looking at the bigger picture and recognizing that every little change matters. That's the power of Kaizen, a philosophy that could revolutionize your work life. Now consider how we typically approach work. It's often a race against the clock, isn't it? In traditional work methods, the focus is often on speed, competition, and individual achievement. We're always striving to be the fastest, the best, the one who gets the most done in the least amount of time. It's a high-stakes, high-stress environment where the pressure is always on to deliver immediate results. Think of it like a sprinter on a racetrack, pushing themselves to their limits, straining every muscle to cross the finish line as quickly as possible. But what happens when the race is over? The sprinter is exhausted, drained, and they need time to recover before they can run again. Now let's contrast this with the Kaizen approach. Kaizen, a Japanese term meaning change for the better, is not about racing against the clock. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about continuous improvement, gradual changes that are implemented over time to bring about long-term efficiency. Rather than individual achievement, Kaizen emphasizes team collaboration. Everyone works together, pooling their ideas and resources to find ways to improve the process. It's not about who can do the most, the fastest. It's about how we can all work together to make the process better for everyone. Imagine a team of rowers in a boat. They're not competing against each other, they're working together, each one contributing to the overall speed and direction of the boat. If one person tries to row faster than the others, the boat goes off course. But when everyone works together, the boat moves smoothly and efficiently. Kaizen is about creating a work environment where everyone is valued, where everyone's ideas are considered, and where everyone is working towards the same goal. It's about making small, incremental changes that add up over time to create a more efficient, effective, and harmonious working environment. Where traditional methods push for immediate results, Kaizen paves the way for sustainable success. At its core, Kaizen is about small, incremental changes. Imagine a staircase. Each step represents an improvement, a change. Now, traditionally, many of us are inclined to leap up the staircase trying to clear several steps at once. It's a dramatic, grand gesture, but it's also risky and exhausting. More often than not, we end up stumbling or worse, falling back to where we started. But Kaizen proposes a different approach. Instead of leaping, why not take one step at a time? It may seem slower, less impressive, but it's steady, and it's sure. Each small step, each incremental change is easier to manage, easier to implement. It minimizes the risk of stumbling, and it's less likely to meet resistance. This is the principle of continuous improvement in Kaizen. It's not about overhauling a system overnight, but about making constant, subtle changes. It's about identifying the small inefficiencies, the minor bottlenecks, and finding ways to improve them, bit by bit. And the beauty of this approach is that these small changes, when accumulated over time, can lead to significant improvements. A single step may not take you very far, but 1,000 steps? That's a different story. Moreover, Kaizen doesn't just encourage constant improvement, it requires it. It's not a one-and-done deal. It's a never-ending journey of refinement and enhancement. It's a cycle that keeps on turning, always moving forward, always seeking to be better. And the benefits? They're numerous. Reduced resistance to change, for one. When changes are small and gradual, people are more likely to accept them, to adapt to them. It's less intimidating, less disruptive. Then there's the ease of implementation. Small changes are simpler to execute, less likely to require massive resources or drastic measures. And because they're easier to manage, they're also easier to sustain. And let's not forget the psychological benefits. Small victories can boost morale, can motivate us to keep going, to keep improving. With Kaizen, the journey to improvement never ends. It's a cycle of constant refinement. So, how does Kaizen work in a real-world setting? Imagine a bustling automotive factory. The assembly line hums with activity. But there's a problem. The process of attaching a car door takes a little too long, causing a bottleneck. The team decides to implement Kaizen. They brainstorm, test, and eventually find a way to shave off a few seconds from the door attachment process. A small change, but over the course of a day, a week, a year, it adds up to significant time savings, boosting productivity and reducing waste. That's Kaizen in action. Now let's move to a different scene. A bustling hospital ward. Nurses are constantly on the move, tending to patients, administering medication, updating records. One nurse notices that she spends a lot of time walking back and forth to get supplies. She suggests a rearrangement of the supply area to have commonly used items closer at hand. A simple change, but it saves precious minutes, allowing her to spend more time on patient care. That's job satisfaction soaring courtesy of Kaizen. From factories to hospitals, from boardrooms to classrooms, Kaizen has found a home in a variety of industries. It's in the way a restaurant reorganizes its kitchen to serve meals quicker. It's in the way a software company streamlines its coding process to release updates faster. It's in the way a retail store rearranges its layout to make shopping easier for customers. Everywhere you look, you'll find Kaizen making a difference. It's not about grand, sweeping changes, but about small, incremental improvements. It's about finding the bottlenecks, the inefficiencies, the areas of waste, and addressing them, one small step at a time. Remember, Kaizen isn't just a methodology, it's a mindset. It's about embracing change, not fearing it. It's about recognizing that there's always room for improvement, no matter how good you are. From manufacturing to healthcare, Kaizen proves that small changes can lead to big improvements. You might be wondering, how can I apply Kaizen to my own work life? Well, it's simpler than you might think. Kaizen isn't just a business strategy, it's a philosophy, a way of life. It's about embracing the spirit of continuous improvement, both professionally and personally. So let's dive into how you can implement Kaizen principles in your work life. Firstly, set clear, measurable goals. Remember, Kaizen is all about small, incremental changes that lead to big results over time. So don't aim for the moon right away. Start with something achievable, something that can be improved upon. For example, if you're a writer, your goal could be to write 100 more words each day than you did the day before. If you're in sales, maybe it's making one more sales call each day. The key is to start small, then gradually increase your goals as you grow more comfortable with the process. Secondly, encourage teamwork. Kaizen isn't a solo endeavor. It's about working together to create a better product, service, or work environment. Encourage your colleagues to embrace Kaizen principles too. Share your goals and progress with them, and invite them to do the same. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. Finally, foster a culture of continuous improvement. This means not being afraid to make mistakes, but rather seeing them as opportunities for growth. It's about constantly asking yourself, how can I do this better? It's about not resting on your laurels, but always striving for improvement. This mindset is what truly sets Kaizen apart. So there you have it. Set clear goals, encourage teamwork, and foster a culture of continuous improvement. These are the stepping stones to implementing Kaizen in your work life. It may seem like a big task at first, but remember, Kaizen is all about small, incremental changes. Start small, take it one step at a time, and before you know it, you'll start seeing the benefits. Embrace Kaizen, and you'll be on your way to a more productive, fulfilling work life. Kaizen isn't just a work philosophy, it's a mindset. It's a tool that can transform your work life and even beyond. But how? It's simple. Kaizen encourages you to view work differently. Instead of seeing work as a daunting task, you begin to see it as a series of small, manageable tasks. Each task is an opportunity for improvement, a chance to do better than before. This mindset can be transformative. It can turn the mundane into the extraordinary by continually seeking better ways to do things. It fosters a culture of continuous improvement, where every action, every process becomes a stepping stone towards excellence. But the power of Kaizen isn't limited to your work life. It can change your perspective on everything around you. It teaches you that there's always room for improvement, that success isn't a destination but a journey. Adopt Kaizen and you won't just improve your work, you'll change the way you view productivity and success.